So I've been having a love-hate relationship lately with a lot of different flight controllers. Well, not really a lot, just a few that I've got, and how they fit in like specific frames and everything like that. And I think that's really something important to consider because it really can make or break your build depending upon if you're going with 4-in-1 ESC or if you're going with individual ESCs and those type of things. Now, I see a couple of the bigger YouTubers are doing flight controller roundups all the time and everything like that. One just got done and got completed, and it's great knowing how many UARTs and these pins and pads and what this one does and what target this one does. All that stuff's just great and awesome. But one thing, I don't know why it really never has dawned on me before. Guess it's because it's never been a problem. Everything has just kind of fit and built around like that alien type of design, and you've had room to do this and everything. I noticed first on my Tokyo XL is that, man, it really stinks where these pads are, how you have to wire these things up. My first experience that I had that was kind of bad but was able to make it work was when the Betaflight F3 board came out. I hated that I had to solder the ESCs on the bottom side and then everything else on the top. And, they still have to do that. The same thing was with Raceflight, and you have to use the PDB, and you kind of have to figure it all out and make everything work and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's something important to consider and think about, before you pick a flight controller to go inside a specific kind of frame. So if we take a look at my Conasti frame here, and you see how I have to loop these wires around the standoffs and then come in at this straight angle. Now, in a perfect world with this build in the flight controller, it would be great to have the ESC pads on the sides. Even on the corners would be really cool, even though you got your standoffs there. But on the corners of the sides would make things way cleaner, and I would use way less wire, and it would just be a lot better. Now, if I had a 4-in-1 ESC, then that would be good too, but there's not a biggest selection of all-in-one or built-in OSD flight controllers that do some of the all-in-one functions to combine with a 4-in-1 ESC. So I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm still not sold on the whole 4-in-1 ESC thing yet, probably because I haven't tried it. So anyway, let's take a look at another example here. Okay, this is the Flight Club Proton frame that I'm building right now. And no, this board's not going on there. This CL Racing is fried, and I know the solder job is horrible and everything else, but it's been moved and transferred and everything. It's just what happens when you're bowling on a budget. But if you look here, again, it kind of comes down to the whole thing that I could probably make this work, but I would have wires coming and snaking around, and I would have to add all this extra wire and everything else to kind of get everything to where I want it to be, and then everything would kind of be bunched up there in the back again like it is on the Conasti frame, except I have way less space to work with because there's a standoff that has to go right there in between those power leads right there. So this board obviously isn't going to work. I'm getting a Bardwell F4, another one on the way to work with this one because I am using individual ESCs. Now, if you take that same frame and throw a 4-in-1 on there, then boom, this is what you got. Real easy. Wire everything up, put your flight controller board on top. But this particular 4-in-1 only has one VCC connection out, so I still need to use an all-in-one or some kind of a board that has a BEC built into it so I can power everything else that I need to use. So this is really what started my frustration and why I had to pretty much scrap the Tokyo. Eventually, I'd like to rebuild it when the components get smaller, but you can see right in the middle there of those two power wires is where the canopy gets screwed in. Right above that, where those 4 holes are, that's where the camera goes. So there's very, very, very little room to go here. And since this is a canopy, you only have so much room to go up. So you have to have basically the perfect components, the perfect sized everything, and probably in my case, I still had to Dremel out the canopy in order to make everything fit and work in a perfect situation. Now, if we take a look here and we would add maybe a 4-in-1, no problem. You just have to angle those power wires to the left to avoid that hole, and the canopy is already pre-cut to accept that. So just a quick video for everybody just to kind of think about that there's more that goes into flight controllers than UARTs and OSD capability and GPS UARTs and everything else. You really just got to figure out if the thing's going to fit and work in your frame, because with all of these wild, crazy frame designs that we're dealing with now, it really does matter what flight controller you put in here. And it's not because of performance, it's because is it just going to fit, and is it just going to make your life easier? See you later.